Everybody loves a good DIY project, right? There's something incredibly satisfying about rolling up your sleeves and diving into a task with your own two hands. Tackle a problem, save some cash, and feel that sense of accomplishment that comes from knowing you did it yourself. That was me, staring down a slow-draining bathroom sink, feeling a mix of frustration and determination. No problem, I thought, I got this. I was ready to tackle this head-on. A little elbow grease, maybe some choice words for the plumbing gods, and I'd be back to splashing my face in a perfectly functioning sink in no time. I could already picture the water flowing freely. First things first, I needed intel. Knowledge is power, after all. Time to hit up the internet plumbing gurus. There's a wealth of information out there just waiting to be tapped into. YouTube, my trusted advisor for all things home improvement, didn't disappoint. It was like having a master plumber right there with me. After a few how to fix a clogged sink searches, I was practically a pro. I felt ready to take on the world, or at least my bathroom sink. I knew my P-traps from my tailpieces, my plungers from my pipe wrenches. I was armed with knowledge and tools. Confidence, overflowing, just like my sink soon wouldn't be. I was ready to conquer this DIY challenge. Armed with my newfound knowledge and a toolbox that felt heavier than usual, I approached the sink with the swagger of a seasoned plumber. The plan was simple: locate the clog, dismantle the pipes, remove the offending gunk, and reassemble. Easy peasy. First step, shut off the water supply. Check. Or so I thought. See, there's knowing something in theory, and then there's actually doing it in the real world. Turns out, my definition of off and the valve's definition were slightly different, but hey, minor detail, right? Wrong. With the water supposedly shut off, I dove into the task at hand. The pipes thankfully cooperated. No stripped threads, no stubborn fittings, just good old-fashioned plumbing that came apart with a satisfying twist of the wrench. I felt like a regular Bob Vila. The culprit, a clump of hair and gunk that could rival a small woodland creature. Victory was mine. I triumphantly held up the gooey mess, feeling a surge of pride. Little did I know, the real enemy wasn't the clog, but my overconfidence in that pesky water valve. Water, water, everywhere. A phrase that never felt more real than in this moment. Remember that slight discrepancy between my off and the valve's off? It seemed minor at first, but little did I know it was a ticking time bomb. It decided to make itself known in the most dramatic way possible, turning my peaceful day into a chaotic mess. As I was admiring my handiwork, feeling quite accomplished, I suddenly heard a hissing sound. Not the good kind of hissing like air escaping a tire, but a more alarming one. This was a more sinister hiss, the sound of water pressure unleashed. And unleash it did, with a vengeance. What started as a trickle quickly escalated into a full-blown geyser erupting from the pipe I'd just disconnected, spraying water everywhere. Water sprayed everywhere, soaking me, the floor, the walls, even the ceiling. It was like a scene from a disaster movie. My once pristine bathroom was transforming into a miniature water park, and I was the unfortunate main attraction, drenched from head to toe. Drowning in panic, and a little bit of water, panic set in. My heart pounded in my chest, keeping rhythm with the relentless gushing of water. Okay, think, Mike, think. Shut off the water main. Sounds simple enough. Except in the heat of the moment, I couldn't for the life of me remember where the main shut-off valve was. Every second felt like an eternity as water continued to cascade through the bathroom. I was soaked, stressed, and starting to feel like I was in way over my head. DIY, more like de-icaster. This wasn't a job for a weekend warrior with a YouTube degree. This called for a professional. Calling in the cavalry, aka the real plumber. I finally found the main shut-off valve, tucked away in the dark recesses of my basement. It was a bit of a treasure hunt, but I managed to locate it just in time. With the water flow staunched, I surveyed the damage. The sight was overwhelming, and I couldn't believe how quickly things had escalated. My bathroom resembled a disaster zone. Water pooled on the floor, and the walls were damp and stained. There was water everywhere, and the smell of dampness hung heavy in the air. It was a stark reminder of how unprepared I was for such a situation. Defeated, I reached for my phone and called a real plumber. Admitting defeat wasn't easy, but it was necessary. Thankfully, he was a good sport about the whole situation. His calm demeanor instantly put me at ease. He quickly diagnosed the problem, faulty valve, who knew, made the necessary repairs, and even offered some friendly advice for future DIY endeavors. His expertise was evident, and I felt grateful for his help. Looking back, the whole experience was a humbling lesson in knowing my limits. It taught me the value of professional help and the importance of not overestimating my abilities. Sure, I flooded my bathroom, but I also gained a newfound respect for the pros and the importance of knowing when to call in the experts. It was a costly mistake, but a valuable lesson learned. Plus, it makes for a pretty good story, right? Now, I have a tale to tell at gatherings, one that always gets a few laughs and nods of understanding.